Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday morning here. Bachelor Nation News. It's your guy, Dave Neal, stand-up comic. And let's get right into this story. All right, hold on a second. Before you start sending me angry comments about what side you're on, you guys know my channel by now. We got 125 million impressions on YouTube this year because we talk about issues without being wildly offended, without assuming sides, without having any preconceived notions of what the heck's going on. So let's just analyze what happened here. We had people yesterday call out this lady in the middle. She's on She's on Clayton Underwood's. Oh boy, she's on Clayton Eckhardt's season. Got the names right. Of Bachelor premiering January 3rd. And she's here in a photo with two people wearing MAGA t-shirts. So she gets called out for being in a photo. She's in what appears to be a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader costume at a Halloween event with two people wearing MAGA costumes. She makes a response right here. So rather than wonder about all of the context, let's just go straight to her response, okay? We'll go straight to her response. We'll hear what she has to say, and we'll hear what you guys have to say. And I'll be honest, I was surprised. A lot of the comments are people saying, we're done with the pitchforks. We're done calling people out by proxy for having a mom that's a MAGA supporter or by being next to a photo of someone else. The question becomes morally, what constitutes endorsing someone else? Like, could you take it all the way to the extent of being like, look, if you live in a state that voted for President Trump, then you endorse his policies because you didn't move to a state that doesn't vote for, you know what I mean? So the question becomes, how far do you go down the list from what used to be calling out contestants on the show for racist or homophobic tweets or things like that, and now calling out people for just holding arms next to somebody that might have a opinion or be a part of a group that you don't approve of. All right, so we'll get into this. And of course, I face the risk of being accused of being sympathetic to a certain side or this or that just by talking about it. But I truly feel that we are in a society where folks are afraid to talk about things, and so they'd rather just rush to be on the correct side versus just having conversations. And I'll be the guy playing the violin when the Titanic's going down, saying we need civility. We need to be, and then don't get me wrong, at the same time, I do appreciate when we have non-civil moments when the time calls for them. Is this one of those? We'll have to see. Speaking of great moments right here, Dave Neal's Bachelor Nation Toy Drive hit the $10,000 goal. Thank you guys so much. We're going to try to get to 15,000 now. We're at 103%. We hit it. We did it, guys. Thank you guys so much for all your donations, from the people who donated $1 to the people who donated $500. I've seen every donation, and I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. And if you want to check out the conversation I had with Hannah Brown, you go to my vlog channel, Dave Neal Vlogs, and you can see the behind the scenes sort of day in the life vlog of that. There'll be a link below and at the end of this video. You can go check out the vlog series. All right, let's get into it. So this photo emerges yesterday. Serene from Clayton's season, pictured here with friends wearing MAGA shirts. And there's a whole bunch of comments, but there's no point in reading the comments because now we have a response from Serene, so we'll read the comments there. Here's what Serene said. And if you need a face to the name, this is Serene's Instagram, Serene Brooke Russell. By the way, how does she only have 4,300 followers? I mean, she has a very well-curated, very beautiful, I guess she's a model. I don't really know much about her, but we'll find out more. Seems, what can you possibly ascertain about somebody from their Instagram? It's their curated kind of view. You know what you got to do is go to the tagged photos. That's how you want to see what someone's really like. You go to the tagged photos, and then it's all pretty much all the same. All right, so let's get into what Serena had to say. What Serene had to say. It's been brought to my attention that a group photo from Halloween, in which I am included, was posted on an online forum, Reddit. This photo was taken prior to the 2016 election. And for context, I believed the costume to be a joke when this photo was taken. I want to make it clear that I have never supported or agreed with the ideologies associated with the t-shirt worn by the other woman in that photo. I believe that all humans should be treated equally. I believe that Black lives matter. I believe that people of all genders, races, nationalities, and orientations hold the same worth and should be treated as such. These are my beliefs, and I feel it's important to make that very clear. I think it's important to listen to what people say and also, of course, judge them by their actions. But, this is where it becomes difficult, right? Because for sure we're about to see comments from people saying, you can't say you didn't know how bad Trump was back in 2015. There's plenty of people that know that Trump had a problematic past at that point. With that said, we can't turn back the time and say how we felt 6 years ago. We can't do that. It's kind of like I like to just throw those arguments out because it's not fair. Because some people were woke in 2015 to certain issues, but being woke is not like you are woke or you're not. It's not binary the way we talk about it. Oh, this person's woke, this person's not woke. Woke to what? Woke to which issues? Because nobody in 2015, the percentage of people that were woke to Asian hate in 2015 was much lower than what it is now. The percentage of people that were woke towards the Me Too issue that later took storm and people all shared their stories, that issue, there were less people that were worried about that. So the case where you can say, well, you should have known better. I just don't like the logic there. I don't like the logic of you should have known better. I just wanted to say that before we read a bunch of comments that say she should have known better. I was too annoyed to even comment on the thread yesterday. People on this sub thirsting after Olu, who has liked Trump MAGA posts, and then blasting Serene and drawing assumptions for posing with someone dressed up in a Trump shirt on Halloween 6 years ago and choosing not to provide that context. Literally F that. At least keep it consistent. I know a stand-up comedian who put on a red MAGA hat about the same time frame before Trump was the nominee, the presidential nominee. At the point he was just like in the running, and the person I know, he actually shared this conversation on my podcast, got punched in the nose and had his nose broken, and it cost him $10,000 because he had a MAGA hat on. So I understand everyone's got different thresholds for civility, different thresholds for what they believe in, but what's more dangerous in 2015? A guy wearing a MAGA hat or another person assaulting that guy with a MAGA hat? And some people will say, well, the guy with the MAGA hat promotes policies that, you go down the rabbit hole here. But where's the civility? Where's the, trying to help change people's opinions for the better if you feel like you disagree with somebody? That's almost something we need to sort of cherish and uphold more so now than ever. Because we are on the verge of a sort of moral, I shouldn't even say moral, but like a sort of virtual civil war. People are moving into communities that are only echo chambers because they're afraid, you can't wear certain clothing in certain parts of the country. And I get it. I get it on all sides. It's almost like we're in a hostage situation, or we're in a standoff. That's what it is. It's a political standoff. And I think we need to realize that most people agree on most things, but when we have a world where the media, on all sides, and when we have a world where the politics are so divisive and the money that goes into politics is of sinister motivation, being it lobbyists for pharmaceutical companies, lobbyists for the NRA, all the different lobbyists that exist that are in the pockets of our politicians, our career politicians, we just live in a world where we're seeing more of a divide than I believe actually exists. I believe when we break bread with people, we understand that we're all, we all bleed red, and we all want the best for our family and our community. And the more that we can share in that simplicity of what makes us all humans, the easier it is to get along with our neighbors. And our country is 84% Christian or some number like that. And aren't you supposed to love your neighbor? And your neighbor's not just the person that lives next to you. It's a person on your Facebook feed. It's the person you disagree with. It's a person that hugs somebody who's wearing a MAGA shirt. Because how are we supposed to change opinions that we don't agree with, or at least understand opinions we don't agree with, if we just admonish them before letting them either share their side of where they come from or whatever? And I understand it's complicated. And people go, look, I'm not going to give my racist uncle the benefit of the doubt anymore. Unfollow, block, move on with your life, vote with your dollar. I totally get it. Some more comments. It must be exhausting to be in the public eye. I can't even imagine. This is genuinely a good statement. In my opinion, good for her. When people say online forum, they're usually talking about Reddit, right? I always try to give contestants the benefit of the doubt with stuff like this because A, whatever is being posted is usually something isolated that's trying to make them look as bad as possible. And B, this is a dumb reality show, not America's next social justice role model. I expect that they've made mistakes or had embarrassing moments or said something ignorant, like 99% of people on the planet. What matters to me is that they don't double down on it and turn into one of those a-holes or something like Yarrett and Parrott. And I really wish that there was room for that perspective here without people immediately accusing you of being racist, ignorant, internalized, self-hating, etc. I purposely didn't comment on the last post because of that. No, I just know that people are dumb who make mistakes, especially on social media. It's exhausting to define people by their mistakes. So I have two thoughts here. I like that she responded right away and clarified her stance on things, but I don't like that there's a control aspect. We're going to post this photo of you and we're going to hold you to the fire until you respond. She doesn't owe anybody a response. She knows her convictions. She knows what she stands for. We don't even know. This person hasn't even been on the TV show yet, So I do struggle with the control side of things. I've seen it on my end. You guys know I woke up to a thread about me saying I was like this conservative voice of Bachelor Nation. Everything I stand for would be considered, I would say, extremely progressive. Extremely. I'm not even saying I'm a Democrat because I don't believe the Democratic Party has the best progressive incentives for what our country needs. So while sometimes the lesser of two evils is to vote with that party, in my opinion, I don't believe that they've got the best interest for people out there. And my values are extremely progressive across the board. That's where I stand. If that's too triggering for someone who has conservative values, who doesn't want to, implement the same policies I do, then that's says more about you than it does about me, because I, by all means, am open to the conversation if anyone here wants to have it. Although I don't comment too much because it's very time consuming. I do my commenting through my voice here. Read a few more comments. The OP of the original post did her so dirty by just putting it up with no context and has the title wrong, as I pointed out in the other post. The original poster was trying to bury her, whether true or not. Well, that was quick. Good for her for getting her beliefs out there. Someone did mention in that thread that the OP didn't include the context of the picture, which is a shady move. So to those of you who are in the other thread commenting, take out the trash, stand by that still? We got to keep digging through people's lives to find the worst looking out of context thing and jump down their throats for it before we even know who they are. This poor girl hasn't had a single second of screen time yet, and she's already gotten a Reddit hate thread, dumping all over her based on assumptions that turned out to be completely false. One would hope this sub would learn its lesson when it comes to this stuff, but at this point, I seriously doubt it. No wonder all the contestants hate us. I wouldn't say hate is a strong word, but I think contestants understand once they go through the process that Reddit is a very easy platform for people to shine up their pitchforks and be a part of a mob. It's very much like things that are upvoted mean they get more popular. So you agree with this? It's a built-in mob system. And you see when the mob goes too far, when the pendulum swings past its target, usually afterwards, there's enough common sense people on Reddit and other places that go, all right, too much. It's one thing to be like, oh, no, we don't like that. It's another to be like, vile, take out the trash, but it always swings too far. So it's almost like everyone needs to, it's almost like if everyone was publicly shamed, no one would want to publicly shame other people, because you begin to realize that it's not productive. It's just sowing a lot of divide and hatred, and that's all it is. I'd love to hear what you guys think. To the people that might comment and say, Dave, this story isn't worth fueling this hate that exists online, I just say this. I just talked for 14 minutes about about plans that I have that I think are good ways to move forward, about empathy, about grace, and sometimes that means airing out the ugly, which is the people that called her out, and showing that most people don't feel that way. Most people, when presented with information, have good intuition to make good decisions and judgments about themselves. The problem that we have is we have a monetized system, whether it be Reddit or politics or clickbait headlines. We have a monetized system that rewards finding people at their worst. If it bleeds, it leads. So there really is no story here other than reminding everybody out there, whether you're in the comment section or talking to your family during Christmas and the holidays, to lead with grace, to lead with empathy and kindness. And even if somebody on the other side of the table, even if somebody has different viewpoints and a lot of hatred in their heart, if you lead with that kindness and that love, you might just change their opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Keep donating to that toy drive. See you guys soon. Bye now.